I did hit the go live button on YouTube, right? Nope. Sure hope I did now. It looks like it. I'm just not seeing anything in the Streamlabs layout. When I go to the actual URL of the stream, though, we're good. So why is my... Oh, there we go. I was gonna... Just when I was about to say, why is the Studio app not working? So, I don't know. Oh, hey, Void. Welcome back. I was just about to say is... What? I've been jumping around with the times of when to actually do the stream for so much, I wasn't sure if anyone would be able to keep up. Yeah, like, I was leaning towards doing it towards the quote-unquote usual time of 7:30 for me, but, like, I'm thinking, instead of starting up anything new, why don't I just get back into this and do it now and have the rest of the night to myself, post stream and all. Yeah, I haven't been promoting it too much because it hasn't been a thing as much lately, but back when I was like in the swing of YouTube, I would, on average, not say all the time, but on average, stream on Saturday evenings. Like, Saturday 7:30 is my ideal stream time if I had all the time management in the world and streaming was a priority. Oh, you found Shine Cleffa while you were waiting. Congrats. So I'm just doing my charity service and picking up these satchels while I'm in the area before heading back and getting a new outbreak. Well, I can help with that. Cleffa is a friendship evolution, so depending on the game you're playing, you do stuff to make it happy, and it'll eventually evolve. Legends Arceus in particular is weird, but not too different from the main series games. You still get friendship from walking around. You do get friendship every time it breaks a rock or hits a tree down. And stuff like that. Right. I just remembered why I usually wait until a little later to stream, but I don't think it'll be a huge issue. It's just professionalism kind of in the way. Okay, time to make Cleffa headbutt some trees. Well. Just making sure that I was all set with the mass transferring. Why do I have the feeling that I accidentally transferred some things? Like, not things that I really cared about, but things that I was holding on to. No, I think I specifically rearranged this so Magneton would be the last one on the list. And I guess on a tangent of cleanup, for the first time in way too long, actually took time to clean my own room and got disappointingly little to show for it. The shelving area right above my computer desk looks nice, so that's good considering that's right where I'm sitting to record. And I'm slowly starting to migrate the Golden Sun Shrine up to that area instead of hiding in a little shelf corner, but couldn't find quite enough space for it. So, I don't know, that'll have to be a project for another time because I probably spent like 2 hours just cleaning things up, so I definitely don't have any interest in doing more of that today. I also found a nice place for those humongous cards that came with a couple sets. I was just, I guess part of my cleaning was like clearing out Pokemon trading card boxes that I would been holding on to. So I finally took some of the humongous card, took the Shaman humongous card, I should say, out from his case and found a place for that. For right now, I think right next to the giant Zapdos card is kind of nice. It's a little shame because it looked like it got a little curved, not like bent, but round. So I'll probably have to look out to fix that. It's probably just as simple as getting a heavy book and sticking inside of that for a day or so. But it's a big card, so it might take a little bit just to find a book big enough to do something like that. Alright. In my opinion, Pavilion Field Land is the best place for friendship evolutions because of the trees. I'll take your word for it, because in my first impressions and opinion, any place would be a good place. Because they all got stuff, but it would make sense that the beginning area would have more stuff to ease you into the open world aspect of everything. Alright. I was just about to say... Oh, hold on. Alright. Back. As I was saying, nothing here, but I was ironically about to say if we do find any unknowns or spirit tombs, I'll stop to check them even though they're not technically the target, because like who wouldn't be happy to have a shiny unknown or spirit tomb? Like unknown's the one thing I tried the whole, I forget the name, but the thing where you reset and catch Pokemon and battle them in particular orders to manipulate the RNG. Typically not that type of person, but that was the one time that I actually did it, and of course my patience did not pay off. Nice. You got the T. That's certainly interesting to a T. Oh. Was that the last one there? Yeah. I guess I'll do the Scorpy while I'm here. Or Skoruby. You know. Let's have a count off of, if you watch the Pokemon anime, when did you fall off? I can't remember for sure, but I think it was as early on as second or third gen. But I do have some specific memories of seeing some episodes of the Diamond and Pearl thing, but I couldn't really tell you anything in particular at all. Like, my only anime memory for this might this is gonna be funny because it says a lot about how I was as a kid, but only memory I can recall from the Pokemon anime was when they first did the Johto anime. It might have been Orange Isles, but I think it was Johto in particular. When I first heard the theme song, I got upset because it was not the same theme song as the original Kanto theme. Great, I was very little back then, so like, I had a lot of emotional growth to go through, so that wasn't too out of the ordinary. And yeah, it is an iconic and solid theme in of itself. I can see why people like the Johto theme, and I like it too nowadays. It's more of a testament of just how sensitive I was to change when I was young, rather than my actual opinions now on which themes are good and which ones are bad. Because the Johto and Kanto, the original season and the Johto anime theme are both real solid songs on their own merit. Actually, why am I using Typhlosion? He's been perfected ages ago. Well, no Sparkling Skorubies there. I guess I'll check out the Cyndaquil because maybe the second wave is an alpha. It probably won't be, but I'm not opposed to trying. Also, the most major thing that's happened between the last gaming show recording and this stream, I finished maxing out my satchel. If you couldn't see from the money, I used to have a lot more money, despite having a lot now. Had like double, if not triple, this amount. But those final set of satchels upgrades are incredibly expensive, and I refused to get them until I had enough to buy all of them because the concept of having an uneven menu just rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, now I need to use a moonstone, but I don't know where be a full moon or you can do whatever for evolving your Clefairy into Clefable. I don't recall doing it myself, but I'm 99% sure that it's the same way as it was in all the other games where you just use a regular old Moonstone. The only Pokemon that runs in that full moon shenanigans is Ursaluna. Oh, great. The Cyndaquils are just... Oh, now they're... Oh, now... They don't want to fight, but they can't just catch them. Okay, game. You do you. I'll just vibe and figure things out along the way, I suppose. Yeah, it may be a waste to go for the Moonblast, but I mean, it's level 16. And I need to do this for the research anyways. So why not? Where are the rest of the Cyndaquils? I can't stop thinking about that Blue Sky account now. Just seeing all these Cyndaquils. There's an entire Blue Sky account. Maybe they were a Twitter account too, but I know them from Blue Sky. That's literally nothing but Cyndaquil posts. And as a Cyndaquil fan myself, I can appreciate it. Oh, and what did you just realize? Like, sure, where are the rest of the... Why am I struggling so much to find Cyndaquils? Come on, come on. This may be the only thing I'm interested in, but we don't got all day. There is a limit. Berries? Anything? Any sort of sign? Cyndaquil. Where? Oh, you're totally not drowning in the water. You can't get a shiny charm because you got rid of your Mesprit, and it's not research level 10. That is incredibly unfortunate. If you have access to Pokemon Home, you might be able to, like... If you have Pokemon Home and a Mesprit from another game, you could always transfer it over to Pokemon Legends. Otherwise, yeah, that is a bit of a situation to be in. Nice. And, you know, I feel like I'm playing a dangerous game, fighting a fire type with a bug type, but it works. And, like, when else am I gonna use this Burmy and get this researched, perfected? Can't. It's so eerie. Every now and then, I remember that we have not gotten any news on Legends ZA officially since that first initial trailer in Pokemon game, and it's just... And I get the game's not coming out to 2025, so it makes sense they don't want to reveal too much too early. But it just feels eerie. It feels eerie that the game's just gone silent for so long. It's been convenient for me because I've been able to make shorts and the likes on the topic at my own pace and not have to worry about any sort of pressure to try to make the videos before inevitable trailers and that just, like, take away all my room for speculation. But I'm never gonna not find it eerie. You know, trying to avoid the elephant in the room because I know the stuff that's up, but I feel like the more I talk about it, the more likely I'm jinxing myself to get spoiled inadvertently through conversation. Yeah, that would make sense. That would be my guess too about them putting more trailers out in early 2025. I would say maybe even, like, that's what... Like, I'm not 100% sold that Game Freaks actually learned their lesson and are going to take their time with their video games. So, there is a part of me that's like, what if they just... We say it's coming out 2025, but like, oh, here's a game in 2025. But in all reality, like, if they were going to release the game that soon, they would have had something else out about it by now. So I think it's a safe bet that it's not going to come out in the first month of 2025. Is that really everything? I don't know. But you know, this wasn't an alpha outbreak and I already got co-alpha. Oh, that's loud storms. I guess I got a reason to close the window after all. One last check to make sure there's nothing else I really want. I guess I'm better off spending that time trying to get another outbreak because, like, I'm determined to get a cool shiny this week because it's took the week off for holiday celebrations. So it would be nice to get something special. And, like, one of these new Legends shiny when I've been holding off on them for so long. Probably be a good compromise. If not a shiny Mindfu, but I don't think that's going to happen until I finish my playthrough of Pokemon Y and get the radar. Yeah, the reason I pulled this up is because I don't know if I'm going to take the time to actually pull them out and play them directly, but I figure we could, like, do a quick scroll of my shinies. But yeah, you can go in the box while I'm going through demonstrations. Oh, was that lightning you saw? I guess it was a good thing I decided to get the stream done earlier rather than later. Good luck with your box organization, by the way. So, Mist was the first shiny I actually caught before the main story ended. I have a whole video on, like, these first few boxes, so I won't spend too much time, but these two in particular are special because this was my first shiny and it has a whole story behind it. And this was the first shiny I caught on Game & Chill. Ironically enough, like, the first Hisui shiny that I got to work with is this Braviary. Let's see how long ago was at this point. February 2023. So only last year when the Hisui shiny hunt really got started. And then I got this Teddiursa on a Game & Chill and evolved it up. See, next notable Hisui shiny was the Zora. Right at the tail end of the year. Oh, wrong button, but I was going to show you a more full picture of the Graveler. I would say it's more yellow. It's technically both because it's like a gold or a tan than anything. I see, now that you say that, is it brown or yellow? I see more brown than yellow. Your question single-handedly changed my entire perspective on this shiny. Because I usually interpret it as a gold. But that does not look very golden. Maybe it's this TV mod. Maybe it's the monitor. Maybe it looks more brown now that I have better graphics on my screen. But yeah, in the thumbnail at least, sorry, YouTube terms are stuck in my head. It definitely looks more gold here. Yeah, lighting probably is playing a role into all of it. Oh shoot, I completely glossed over the Voltorb. But yeah, like, I don't know the details. but I did indeed get a shiny Voltorb. This is a cool combo, like, because these two I got from the same massive mass outbreak. Obviously, not the same outbreak, but the same massive mass outbreak. So not only did I get a new Hisui entry, I got my second shiny alpha. First going to this Empoleon earlier on. See it. Then get the random shiny Hisuian Samura. Didn't even have to evolve up for that. Got the cool alpha that will eventually become a Typhlosion. Just making sure I don't accidentally stumble upon a tiny Typhlosion first. Then I got the Hisui Silio. Then a Zork. Got the whole family just from catching. Okay, that's an interesting question. If you want something official, I bet if you go, I was gonna say I bet if you go to Bulbapedia, they'll tell you the quote unquote official color. You may not like what you hear, but it will give you a canon color. But I realize that's for the normal species, and I don't know if they do it for the shiny variant. And Growlithe was the next one. Got two sitting around here. Oh, this is a fun one. This was my first attempt to just like soft reset in front of a static alpha encounter. I was doing it on and off for a little bit, and then just took a break from Legends. And the funny part was the moment I rebooted up my game from that hiatus, the Goodra was shiny. Nice. Like, I will say about Hisuian Goodra, like, the Goodra line was, I wouldn't say I dislike it, but it was never my favorite. But for some reason in Legends, I just love the Hisuian Goodra, and it's given me an entirely new appreciation towards that entire family. Let's see, like, so I guess that was the most recent Hisuian shiny. So, not including duplicates, the last time I got a new one in my quest to get all the Hisuian shinies was all the way back in March. So going purely from that perspective, we may be overdue for a new one. But in the grand scheme of things, there were a lot of shiny Pokemon that I've picked up along the way. What's your favorite shiny Rotom form? That might be a little too specific of a question, because I do like Rotom, but I haven't really looked at them at their at the shiny form of each individual form of Rotom to really like pander an opinion. If I'm just going on instinct, maybe Heat or Fridge, but that might just be because those are forms of Rotom that I tend to favor their non-shiny variants. You know, with how much of a mess that was, I'm surprised I really did anything. Now, I also gotta give a shout out to Wash as well, though. Something about Wash is amusing. Alright. Yeah. If nothing else, I want to end off this stream getting a shiny, even if it's something that I'm salty over because I have 20 million of. I hope I didn't just jinx it, but whatever. It's out in the air now. My. You're always in a different spot in every area, and that makes it impossible for me to remember where you stand in any area. Oh, hey, Petalittles. It'd be cool if I actually got more than one Pokemon that I'm looking for in a single mass outbreak for now. But I get that the number of Pokemon that I'm looking for is only getting more and more narrow the more of these shinies I find, so I'm just grateful to find one at this point. You could do mass outbreaks, but don't use Evolcant berries. That's what I do, and I have a lot of shinies. True, if you're not looking for anything specific, there is nothing wrong with just not using your berries and going for everything. That's what I did in the early days of shiny hunting myself. Well, I'm not sure. Usually I use the Avalok berries, if only because I have so many and I never really am worried about running out, that I'm just like, why not? It'll allow me to like pick out an efficient path or make an efficient path to get as many of the Pokemon that I want shinies of as possible. Alright. Oh, that little squeaky walking coming from them? That's adorable. Oh. If I knew they could break out of Ultra Balls, I would, or out of Great Balls, I would have just gone for that. Shoot. And these little fellows are going from so far away. Where's the rest of your friends? Oh. There's like, how many more for the record books? Not enough, apparently. Yeah, it's interesting you have enough shinies to organize them by color. At least in this game, I personally prefer organizing them just by the order I catch them, because that makes it easier to remember the memories I had getting each and every one of them. Plus, it helped with organizing the video. Man, if I had infinite time, or if YouTube was an actual job for me, I probably would. I would make that shiny montage video. The last one I did go well. Fine, you want to tussle so bad? I guess we can tussle for a little while. It's not going to take any time on this outbreak, and it's not like there's anything else left here that I'm really hurting to go after. Yeah, that reminds me that I probably gotta organize my shinies in home, because like I play Pokemon Go and stuff the majority of my community day shinies in there too. So there's probably just like 3 boxes of unorganized shiny Pokemon from community days, because I haven't been trading them around as much as I used to. Yeah, I kind of just hate how different the mobile and console apps are. Like, you can organize boxes in the console version of Home, but you can't organize them. But you can't transfer Pokemon. But you can't in the mobile version. However, you can do Wonder Trades in the mobile version, but not in the console version. And that distinction is just so annoyingly confusing and makes it way too easy to... The fact that the that in Pokemon Home they're not organized by boxes makes me so paranoid about accidentally trading away something that I want to keep just because it looks like one of the Pokemon that I don't want to keep. That's a whole ordeal in itself. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize all these star outbreaks we got going over here. I guess I'll humor myself with taking on a few of those. They all see me, don't they? Yeah. This Clefable is definitely not a good matchup. But I can't. I have all these other Pokemon, but I don't remember what moves that I have to do with them for the Pokedex research. Nah, it's okay though. We're so over leveled that it doesn't really matter this time around. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually everything for Clefable. I might have to actually go out and find some wild ones to finish up the rest, but. Oh, I really haven't done Psychic enough? I could have sworn I did. If I would have realized that, then I would have been spamming that Psychic button earlier. I guess that explains why I didn't move Psychic down a bit lower on the list. And I don't know. I think even with fighting them all, I'm kind of wondering if I'm actually going to have time to, in this mass outbreak time limit, to check out every individual one. Yeah, I mentioned how I wanted to actually get a cool shiny this weekend. I did kind of overlook the fact that I have gotten shiny Pokemon this weekend. It's just that they were all in Pokemon Go, and of things that I've gotten already in some shape or form. Best example was last night during the spotlight hour. I was just catching the various ghost types roaming around, and one of the Duskulls that I tapped on did turn red. If it wasn't for the fact that it made for a really cool photo that I took because I was walking right when the sun was setting, that would have been a lot more underwhelming. But luckily, it was like in a good spot. Right? I don't think those are alphas. I think it's just normal, whatever the evolved form is. So probably won't bother with them. Rather use that time to check out the cricket tots. Looks like the yellow is compensating for the lack of blue there. Let's just yellow it. Running makes them despawn as well, so it's not like I really got much to lose. Come on back, little fellas. You can't run forever. You're only level 9. You don't really got an excuse to break out of Great Balls. Huh. No alphas here either. You know what? As much as I don't mind just catching them all, I really feel like I'd be jinxing something if I kept going. So let's check out the bonsai. I guess I'm going through these outbreaks a lot faster than I thought I would. Goes to show what happens through the power of skipping. Oh, I'm sorry. I can help but laugh at the way that little one was panicking. Okay, you're not quite so little one. Hello, Zubat. I guess you can join the party too. I won't judge. I mean, I could probably catch this alpha if it had its back turned. I was gonna say, so it probably doesn't matter if it's not a red, but I guess Bonsai decided to do the work for me. I've mentioned it before, but it's been a while. It is kind of neat that no matter how high of level your Pokemon are, you always have room to be humbled, at least if you don't have essentially infinite items. And like these Ultra Balls are the strongest thing I got. How am I supposed to be catching you up, Pokemon, if you're gonna break out the most powerful thing I can muster? Really? No, the rain can't clear up. I have to see. I haven't even seen if this outbreak has alphas. Studoodles. Maybe there are downsides to just running in headstrong and chasing down every Pokemon. Like, you're not part of the outbreak, are ya? No, you're just a random Sudowoodo. Too bad, really. I gotta take a moment to read this. Zubat really said, "Step away from the Queen Guard." You don't know how you call a legendary Pokeball, but you can't catch a level 5 in an Ultra Ball. Well, okay, so at least these are normal Sudowoodos and not Alpha Sudowoodos. So I won't feel so bad if I don't clear out the entire outbreak before this rain lets up. Case in point. It would be nice because Sudowoodo was one of those Pokemon that actually considered part of my main party in Legends Arceus. So shiny if it would be nice. Also kind of reminds me of on one of my Pokemon Go walks a couple days ago. A little bit playing a little risque here, but I can handle it. Just saying, I saw Shadow Sudowoodo raid, thinking like, can it be Shadow? Because typically, if it's a Pokemon that admin had at one point in time, you can get a Shadow Shiny of it. And according to Google, you can, but Google's kind of become more and more questionable now that, like, you have to scroll down to see the non-AI search results on that site nowadays. That's a little annoying. Great. Speaking of annoying, where the heck did they hide this satchel? Frankie, I don't know how you got the satchel lost, but kudos to you. Oh, it's just on the ground. Allegedly. Ah, here we go. Do I want to bother getting these other twos before I leave? They're right next to each other, but they're on the other side of the map, and there's no real fast travel. I don't know. By the time I make up my mind, I could probably just fly over there, so that's where we're at. You see, these are the many variety of reasons why I'm an inefficient shiny hunter. I am not content with just shiny hunting in the most efficient way possible. I have to do basically just shiny hunting is basically just an excuse to play this game more. Normally, when you see an outbreak on the cliff, you don't go to it because I know there's no outbreak there. Ah, you're referring to. Well, maybe not, but maybe you're referring to the outbreaks that happen inside the caves. Yeah, like. I kind of get why you get those caves can. You gotta give some purpose to those caves, but man, like when you're just trying to marathon them, it can be kind of annoying to see an outbreak you want and have to like gouge your way all the way through a cave just to reach it. It's kind of like reminds me of the Hisui and Braviary quests, where I realized one of the things I still have to do is catch them while we're flying in the air. With the one issue being that the you have to go through that entire Snow Peak temple, climb all the way to the tippy top, just to catch one Braviary. You know, I could probably even pull it up and show you how far I got into it. I think I've only done. Oh, I've only done 3. I mean 2. I was gonna say I thought I only did 3, but in actuality, it's so tedious. I've only done it twice. Allegedly, I heard somewhere that there's like ways you can cheese it to fly up there, but it seems like speedrunning tech equivalent. It seems to be the equivalent of speedrunning tech, and it's just out of my league. Alright, it feels way too long since the last time we. Even though I just did an outbreak, it still feels like way too long since the last time I did an outbreak. Am I really just one psychic away from being done with using Clefable? Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna just go find the first Pokemon I see and blast it with a psychic. Nothing personal, but do. I guess that's what I get for trying to hurt baby plants. You know, but there's a side like, over here that I'm sure will volunteer as tribute. I see we're playing the. See we're playing the age yourself. Don't I see we're playing the don't age yourself challenge. Difficulty impossible version. Cause oh boy, my first Pokemon game was the first Pokemon game. Like my first Pokemon game was actually my first exposure to video games as a whole, outside of edutainment. Because I got a copy of Pokemon Red for like my my single digit years. We'll just say. Yeah, like I'm not sure if you're referring to Moon being a good game or Red. But I'll agree with you either way because they both have different merits. I will. I don't have complete rose tinted glasses because I will say that they have red and blue have aged, but they're still fun enough on their own merits to go back to every now and then. I can see why some people wouldn't really see a purpose to going back to them when more recent Pokemon games pretty much do everything that they do, but improved. Now, if only I didn't have a Zoroark already, then that would have been perfect. Yeah, like, I'm a sucker for chiptune as a music genre in general, so it is. When Sycamore Balado, I don't really go back to Pokemon Red, but I have on occasions like pulled up my copy of Pokemon Yellow and just stick it into my Game Boy Color, like my original first video game console ever, and just hear those chiptune music, find some AAA batteries or AA batteries, listen to chiptune music on that tiny little screen. That was a nostalgic time. It's been a while since I did that last, but I still remember the last time I did it for the fun of it. What's annoying to you in Pokemon games is the catch odds. Good question. The catch odds are a good choice. Like, for such a core concept of Pokemon, having it all based around RNG is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Because on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, I feel like with all the advances in game design over the past, well, I guess it would be 30 years, 30 plus years even. You think over all that time of game design, we would have come up with something better than RNG for catching. Like, we've pretty much phased out random battles. So if we can do that, then surely there's got to be a way to phase out catching in a way that feels more engaging but still challenging. Though I gotta stand up for random battles. I don't mind them, and I know part of it's because I grew up with it, but I feel like people over exaggerate when they say that it's a outdated, archaic game design choice. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's definitely I can see it not being for everyone, and more importantly, like, I forgot what I was gonna say. But I feel like there's a scenario where random battles could be more engaging and more fun than static encounters. I just can't think of that situation for the life of me. And it bugs me because I want to think of that situation because I know it exists, but I can't for the love of me. You like that in Scarlet and Violet, you can choose to fight them. Yeah, I mean, like, as long as Pokemon is going in the open world, the direction of open world gameplay, I don't see that going away. It's a little weird. You do lose something. I'm sure most people won't miss it, but you do lose a little something when you can just pick and choose what battles you do, whether it be trainers or wild Pokemon or any of that. Like, you lose the more traditional RPG element of dungeons and areas you go through being a endurance match. That's like, with all the work I've done with Dawn and Jin, that's like the most common complaint I've seen at times. Well, it's not Dawn and Jin, but I made an unofficial game that's pretty much just like Dawn and Jin, but without the new stuff. And I made the mistake of calling it Golden Sun Quality of Life. So, like, most people love it, adore it. It's the most the trailer for it is the most popular video that I've ever uploaded. Every now and then, though, I will get a complaint from a hardcore RPG fan that says something along the lines of, I'm ruining the game. And most of them will just leave it at that. After some thought, I think it comes down to the fact that with doing things like making fast travel a lot easier and the ability to toggle random encounters on and off, you do lose that little bit of that feel of a dungeon being an endurance round where you have to manage your resources throughout the entire dungeon. Sorry, that was a bit of a tangent. But, like, I can kind of see why some people wouldn't like being able to choose which battles you do, specifically because I have experience with it in the sense of I've been on the other end of some lashing of diehard RPG fans. Excuse me, my throat's getting a little scratchy. I need a second. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm completely better, but I'm a bit better. I think I can make it to 1 hour, but I might cut the stream closer to an hour than to an hour and a half. Specifically because I think I've been talking a lot. Yeah, but there's like a lot. There's a lot to cover. First of all, yes, quillfish. That's like one of the other hard ones for me to find outbreaks of. So so glad that we actually get to do a quillfish outbreak this stream. Especially because quillfish is a really cool shiny. I did actually get one in Pokemon Go, of all things. And like the white coloring of it all is really neat. And as for your questions, the temptation to just beat around is much. I guess if I had to pick one, I would go with the Titans, but it's kind of. I'm not sure if any of the paths really stuck out to me. Like, I like the character arc of Nerona in the Gym Leader saga, but the gyms themselves kind of suffered a similar issue that I found with the gyms in Sword and Shield. Arguably worse, with just like the gym puzzles not feeling engaging to me. Ironically, I like the olive roll one, and the rest range from okay to terrible. I say ironic because I feel like I'm the only one who actually liked olive roll. Could be wrong on that though. No, like I like the story of Team Star's arc, and I guess like the gameplay was of infiltrating the bases were fine too. Not sure if like I play Scarlet and Violet for the story more than the gameplay. Because initially I wasn't going to even pick up Pokemon Scarlet, but for a combination of Fluttermane, like this ancient form of one of my favorite Pokemon. I feel like I say that with a lot of early gen Pokemon though. That's besides the point. Like I really like Mischievous, so I that alone was enough to get me to lean towards Scarlet rather than Violet. But even then, I wasn't going to pick up the games. I was just going to have this be the first generation that I actually skipped a Pokemon game for. But I watched a playthrough, and I really enjoyed the story. And like the playthrough was just about to go into Area Zero, and at that point, I was like, I have to experience this for myself, and that's when I picked up the game. So, if I'm gonna be true to my soul, to answer this question as honestly as possible, I would not say I would not say Team Star. I would not say the Titans. I would not say the gyms. I would just skip right to Area Zero. As much of cheating as that may be. I don't know if I'm alone on this opinion. I have to be because people were praising it so much early on, but I don't think I really like the main theme, and this is coming from someone who's a huge fan of Toby Fox's music otherwise. But I'm not sure if it just got overplayed or if the song just generally didn't vibe with me. But man, the fact that main theme played in pretty much every area of the game just really made it get old really fast. It's like the one time I didn't like a Toby Fox song. But then you got the whole Area Zero, and all the soundtrack in that part of the game is just complete bangers. So I guess it balances out. Like for some reason I don't like the rating theme and I don't like the main theme, but I like the the two songs that are famous for being Toby Fox tracks in the back half of the game, so I guess it all balances out. Also, I at this point I couldn't even tell you what I'm doing if I tried. I think I'm just getting bodied by Quillfish for the sake of getting bodied by Quillfish. There's no other way around it. You know what? On the tangent of getting sidetracked at all these Pokemon we've been running across, and I don't think I've updated my counts on any of them. To be fair, they were probably outdated a long time ago. I'm gonna just put 10 for each of them that I can remember doing, and go from there. I mean, it's easy for the stream to turn into a Q&A when there's only one person in chat, and the chat's basically just revolved around asking questions. I don't mind though. It makes for easy conversation, Nami. I don't have to worry about coming up with commentary ideas on the fly. That being said, I feel like I talked about Mario Party Jamboree, but I'm not sure if that was before or after you joined the chat. But like, it's been an interesting time for games because it feels like 3 games, at least in the AAA end, that I've been looking forward to for so long, are all coming out so close together. Whole Mario Party Jamboree, Sonic Shadow Generations, and Mario and Luigi. Technically, Shadow's Generations is out already, but I didn't pay extra to get the game early, so I have to wait till Friday with the rest of us. Like I've seen a bunch of trailers and journalists, the people who get played the game early, showing those people playing the early game level stuff, and really enjoying everything I've seen of it. Yeah, I'm glad we're in agreement. Like, it shouldn't be too shocking because allegedly, according to the Sonic community, Sonic has been on a rise ever since Frontier. I don't know. I haven't played it myself, but I just didn't vibe with the concept of Sonic Frontiers. I'm also the person who purposely avoided getting either of the Legend of Zelda games, Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, because I just didn't vibe with the whole open world concept. I don't know. I guess I'm more of a fan of structured puzzle room games in general, or more closed linear games with some non-linearity than I am with flat out open world. But these days it's kind of hard to find a game that doesn't at least dabble in the whole open world thing, because it's like the big video game trend of this era. So it just happens. Like, I just gotta accept that there's gonna be some games that everyone is into besides me because of how much people love the open world games. Because it's not like there's no good reason for so many people to like it. I'm glad you said it, Void, because you put it perfectly. You just saying that you kind of saying like Legends did it right, because even if we put aside the fact that even when we put technical limitations and all that jazz and just put them on equal footing in terms of how do I want to phrase this? If we put them on equal terms of quality, and they both ran flawlessly, I still think I would prefer the gameplay structure of this game over Scarlet and Violet, but I can totally see why the general public would prefer something way more open like Scarlet and Violet. Just there is a bit of a for me there is a bit of a charm to the concept of just having like multiple smaller maps that you can become accustomed to than one big giant map. I can definitely see the appeal of one big giant map, but when they're slightly smaller but still fairly open, it makes it a lot easier to just fall to just for them just to become for them to become home with you. I'm just saying. And you enjoy that, and man, I want to continue on with this, but I cannot get over the fact that we have not seen any shiny Pokemon in like the combined 2 hours that I've been streaming. I mean, you know that we got it easy these days when I can say that. But still, like when you get the shiny charm and so many Pokemon mastered if not perfected, you can't help but go, geez, we feel a little overdue for a shiny. Yeah, I do have the shiny charm. It's not that this is completely unusual. Stuff like this happens sometimes. RNG is a fickle beast. And sometimes luck just doesn't work that way. This wouldn't even be the worst case of luck that I've had. Like, there was a time that I SOS chain for... Oh, man, getting a shiny Corsola in general was, like, the biggest epic And I don't mean in the way we use epic these days. I mean epic like how the Greeks used the term. Just like it was a journey just to get that shiny Corsola between like countless weeks, if not months, of just using my time on the treadmill to chain fish an Omega Ruby for that 1% chance of a Corsola, and then hope for it to be blue on top of that. And then eventually realizing how crazy you were and going into Sun and Moon to try SOS chaining because surely that'll be easier. And but instead, like having your 3DS run over the course of an entire weekend and still not get the shiny, even though you go like double over odds. And then, and like, eventually I'm like, screw it. I know the whole I could have easily just gotten this in X and Y. The only reason I haven't is because I resetted my X and Y file way long ago to do a fun challenge, to do a fun run, but put the game down before I could finish it. So I'm like, screw it. It's going to take a while to play through all of X and Y until I get to the point where I can get the super route again. But surely that will be easier than getting a Corsola these other ways. Oh, I was gonna say, where's the rest of you? But if you're really the last one, that's a bit unfortunate. I haven't even got to the punchline. Like, I finally get the super rod, and I set up this whole stream just to get the Shining Corsola, and I think it was in less than 10 chainfish. It was a pretty small number, even though chainfishing has really good odds. It still managed to be happen very fast, even for that particular method. That I got the blue Corsola. I think I even went for a second one. I'd have to double check to see if I actually got it. So, well, no quillfish, but at least know something. Like, man, I have not been doing a good job keeping count of how many checks I've done in general. Let's just say 10 and go from there. Alright. I'm sure, I didn't check the trees, but I'm sure I would have saw at least one of them shaking. Excuse me. I'm sure I would have seen at least one of them shaking if I came along, or if I was looking. Yeah, whatever the case may be. I am tempted to end things off here because it's technically been 2 hours between the two streams. However, I think I'll go to an hour and a half, but I need a little break to refill my water, because otherwise I'm just gonna drain all the moisture in my voice or something like that. So, I'm just gonna, because I need to, I wouldn't mind like getting a space-time riff here anyways. I'm just gonna leave the screen on here while I go take that water break, and I'll see you in a little bit. Well, back with my water. Oh, I never even cashed the Pokemon in. I guess it makes sense when it's only 15. You don't like green shinies, but Cassim looks good. All the other green shinies look sick. Yeah, I've seen a few mixed opinions of green shinies here and there. What is another quote unquote good green shiny? I hear people claim that Mankey is a good green shiny, and I could see that with how like it gives off more of a minty vibe rather than the quote unquote sick vibe. Green's the problem is that green is a weird color because, like we said, we associated with it. I'm not sure how many cultures associate green with illness, but the Western cultures that I grew up in certainly do. Green is just, and green has never really been my favorite color either, because I'm more of a fall winter person. So I feel like I get enough green just looking at all the grass all the other times of the year. Where do I go? Do I go to the Mirelands or the Fieldlands? I feel like I've exhausted both significantly. Well, Mirelands might have something fun like a Spirit Tomb as well, so sure. Something about the way I'm going for the massive mass outbreaks this time. Burning my berries a lot faster than the way I normally played the game. I'm not sure if it's because I'm so fixated on the shiny Pokemon or fixated on one or two outbreaks rather than just doing as many as I can before time runs out. You know, if we end the stream with a shiny alpha unknown, I'll settle for that. I'll consider the stream a success. It's not gonna happen, but I'm willing to put the vibes in the air. Frick. Permutations, that's the word I was looking for. Like I said, this was the one Pokemon that I decided to do permutation hunts for, and I never could figure out if when they run, if that counts as you defeating them or catching them, or if you just screw out getting permutations in general because they ran. The chart that I used definitely doesn't show it. And you said green shinies also blend into grass, so it's annoying sometimes. Yeah, I can see that argument. Luckily, it's not really that big of a deal in something like Pokemon Go. Since the Pokemon don't even turn shiny until you click on them. I don't know why that makes me think of green shinies. I guess because, like, the most common time I hear the green shiny complaint is with people talking about Pokemon Go. You know, I kind of get the feeling that we're just out of luck here. Because I feel like, I don't know if we've exhausted the outbreak yet, but I feel like we're at least close to doing so. And man, like, who knew that something as simple as making hidden power always super effective against you no matter what would make unknown such a brutal Pokemon? But yeah, even like going against these unknowns with my main team members, these things like insane. Like, I wonder, did it specifically choose the quad weakness? We can at least get rid of you. Nice. And sure, catch you. I'm half tempted to just actually reset after this outbreak. It depends on if I get any research out of it. Because I still have 200 berries, so as long as some progress comes out of it, I guess it's worth it. Yeah, I completed Dark Pulse. I guess this timeline is safe. Come on. You know, what is... There's something about Pokemon as an IP's obsession with just, like, putting a filter and calling it... Putting an effect over a Pokemon, especially their eyes, and calling it a new Pokemon. Because it happens a lot with... Because it happens with alpha Pokemon, but I notice it also happens a lot with Shadow Pokemon and Pokemon Go. Like, just giving them a Shadowy Aurora wasn't enough for Niantic, so they also gave every Shadow Pokemon angry eyes, and put a red glowing effect over the eyes. Or just change their eyes to red in general. Which leads to some pretty funny situations of like, wait, is that actually the Pokemon's eye? Or is Niantic just messing with me? You like how when you make it evolve Pokemon, they change shinies, like how Gengar turns from one of the worst to one of the best. It's like Totem Pokemon in Pokemon Moon. Do I want to even bother with the rest of this outbreak, or do I just want to push my luck into something new? I don't see anything that I really want here, and no berries to recuperate myself. So I guess we'll just go with it. I'm sure once I'm actually off stream and playing this game my own time again, I'll have plenty of opportunity to stock up on berries once more. Oh man, just gotta do Shadow Ball 10 more times, and I'll master Dusclops because I totally don't need more shiny Duskulls. Alright, I want this on top. And I don't think I need to bother with healing because I'm just going back to base. Oh, got a little too trigger happy there. Alright, let's see. We're almost at an hour and a half already. I'll just say one more outbreak and see how I feel from there. Definitely not that one. Nothing against Licky Licky, at least not tonight. Just I already have a shiny Lickitung, and I might even have 2 or more from this game alone. You don't mind, I'm gonna... It's been a bit since I've checked on my Pokemon Sleep, so I might as well pull that up in the background to make sure I don't go too, crazy. Like, I'm not gonna get into that, but this week is kind of a break from my normal grind in Pokemon Sleep. It's so weird. It feels like I take Pokemon Sleep way more seriously as a game than Pokemon Go, despite the fact that like Pokemon Go is just key to. I've been using Pokemon Go for so long as an excuse to get out and walk. Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't recall anything in the Highlands that I need, but it is a mass outbreak. So I guess checking on it would be slightly better than resetting. Congrats on finishing your box organization, by the way. You see, like, this is why I don't like soft resetting over making actual gameplay. Oh, should have realized something like this would happen. We gotta see if this is an alpha at the very least. But I don't know how I'll feel if, after all this grind, the shiny we get from this stream ends up being a Hisuian Sneasel. There'll be very mixed emotions. I think I can assure that much. Because it's either gonna have a second wave of Sneaselers or a second wave of alpha Pokemon. I am honestly hoping for. Personally, I'm leaning towards the latter, but just catching a shiny Hisuian Sneasler flat out in the wild would at least be a non-repeat, technically. I don't need it towards my personal goal, but it would not be a repeat. Great, so now I gotta listen to Galay's cry again and keep mistaking it for noises coming from my computer every time it does practically anything. You know, it's the delay. Like, the fact that it has a little grunt and then the loud cry, the loud mechanic cry, that's what makes me keep mistaking it for a technical issue. Because you hear a little grunt and you just assume that's the cry, and then you hear this loud metallic noise and like, wait, what was that? You know what? Screw grinding out the Pokedex. I just want to get through these battles. So down with you, and down with your little friend. We should not really be engaging in combat in the first place. I should just be catching you. Ideally, I'd be catching you before you even see me. You know what? I think this calls for Sticky Globs. It's not even a Pokemon that I have to worry about wasting them because it takes for multiple Sticky Globs. I can just chuck one of them in their face and be along my merry way. I'm usually really conservative about these Sticky Globs because they're the one thing that I can't just buy the resources I need to forge them. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it just being Sneasler and not any sort of alpha to mess around with. Oh, God, of course you backstab me. You know what? Oh my god. Oh, and I can't even fly away when I'm poisoned? Well, this is just unfortunate. I'm pretty sure I won't die as long as I don't get hit. Wow, this thing... Okay, poison is gone. I don't even know if they can hit me. Oh, that one certainly can. Where's the little friend that decided to do the Naruto jab down the cliff? Alright, I think that's all of them. Which would be unfortunate because that means no shinies. I don't even want to bother with that other Sneasel. I'll give it one more. Oh, you know, I should have at least saved. Kept the dex progress I made. Not the end of the world though. Didn't make that much progress. I think it's safe to say that this time, the next time I do a I do a mass outbreak and actually take it, that will be the end of the stream. Cause I'm feeling a bit tired and like we're approaching territory of a normal length stream, even if I didn't have the whole. Did I really? I really did just save on top of in the wrong area. Oh well. No. Do I quickly skim the Earth Ring just to see? Just a quick flyby. Because I definitely don't need another shiny Ursa Ring, but would it be so bad if I did get a shiny Ursa Ring? Like, who would actually complain if I would just fly by here and one of them just so happened to be green? Really, I'm just pushing my luck tonight, aren't I? Dang trees. I'm not even sure if your hitbox are accurate. Alright. So that was just a waste of everyone's time. It's nice to have my little Golden Sun collection right above my head. A little humble brag. I can see all three games right in front of me. Still in the original boxes that I got from when I first got the games. Which, considering that two of them were GBA games, aka cardboard boxes, it's impressive. I gotta give myself more credit for actually keeping them in good shape for as long as they did. Like, they definitely have wear and tear because it's definitely like where I've stored the Game Boy games for the longest time. So like the tops where you open and close them have a little bit of wear for tear. But the important parts, like the pictures in the front and the back and the side, those still hold up pretty well. even today. And like the one thing I'm seeing about my Golden Sun Shrine is that I need more Golden Sun merch of things that aren't just pins and keychains that fans make, which is easier said than done because like there hasn't been a new Golden Sun game in oh my god, at least 10 years. I have to double check, but I know if I double check I'll be sad because it might end up being 20 and not 10. I mean, that is a quillfish. That is a quillfish. And quillfish is one of the Pokemon I am looking for. So it counts. Safe to say the last mass outbreak of the night. And I might just depending how I feel, I might just humor the audience and actually do one of my traditional outbreak to outbreak grinds that I used to do in the old days of mass outbreaks before I actually tried to shiny hunt specific Pokemon. It will depend on how I feel after doing this quillfish. And considering it's a water outbreak, things could change. Things could go awry relatively quickly. Alright. I know it's not as big of a deal if I get spot because they won't try to run away. But still, if I get... Oh! It's been a hot minute since I've seen an Overquill in the water. That looks real good. Frick. I'm glad I like how it looks, because I'm going to get to see it a lot when it's right up in my face trying to annihilate me. Oh, Bomba Snow, Bomba Snow, Bomba Snow, Bomba Snow. Don't worry about getting hit by super effective moves. They're way too focused on blowing themselves up. Because this totally looks like a Pokemon that goes boom DA. And, like, if I don't know, I'm tempted to get back into, what was the name? I just mentioned the name of what it was earlier, and I already forgot. Phases, contradictions, the sweet embrace of death as I realized that my entire team can't fight over quills. I mean, the good news is they can't blow up now. The bad news is that I may prefer them blowing up. Yeah, I might just run and like use sticky globs at this point, because that might be easier than actually trying to face them in combat. I don't know. Like, if this stuff can't hold them off, then I don't know who can. It's a good thing they're wild Pokemon and don't have an IQ above the average living organism. Like, not to knock on wood, but surely they have to have at least one dark type move, right? Go Motham! You can do it! You will totally not just get blown up by the enemies. I can't tell if bringing along a Motham to finish up the field research was the best or worst decision that I've made in the past month. I'm actually kind of impressed that a Motham survived the hit. Shame that it won't really matter because it can't survive too. Should at least... kind of feeling that I can at least get through this encounter. I'm slightly worried about Aqua Tails, of course, but if I can get through this, I can probably just sticky bomb, glom, bomb, anything that pops up. And there's that Aqua Tail I was dreading. Yeah, look at that, like 40 levels higher, and that still hurt a good chunk. It's a good thing the Clofish are willing to wear themselves out for me, because I'm not sure if I would have gotten through that fight if I had to do it myself. Oh. That was the last of them, and I was just about to say I think I'll just save the rest of the outbreak for my own time, but where are we at? We're like it. Let's just go for the full-length stream. At least check out the Skarubi while I'm right over here, and there isn't really a good way to fast travel to it. I swear, this map has the most inconvenient fast travel points out of any map in the entire game. There's like... It's not like they're even in bad spots. They are pretty much on opposite points away from each other, but this map is so big, and yet you only get 3 camps here. I do not know what they were thinking. I do want to try out the chat outbreaks, Void. It's just a matter of if I'm going to do them on my own time or in this stream. Right, you're right about them being fast to clear. But Skarubi's right here, and I don't have a shiny Skarubi yet. So if I gotta take an L and just take a shiny that's not my target, this wouldn't be a bad consolation prize. And like any outbreak is a fast outbreak if you have enough sticky bombs and all the balls. There was definitely a better way to phrase that, but it was not coming to mind. Oh, that's right. I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but I just realized that one of the chat outbreaks were starred. So guaranteed chance at some alpha checks. I didn't even realize this strong style was the thing I need to do for research, but I'm so glad I did. Do I even want to bother with that chat out, or do I just want to go for the big one? Just a warning, Skarubi's evolution becomes a very bad shiny. Now that you mention it out loud, I remember it. Remember that. Not from my personal experience, but I've heard I have heard the horror stories once or twice. And screw it. I definitely don't need a shiny Spiel. But after the excursion we've had today, I do not mind a restock on our berries. Alright, you fight. Someone wants my hide. I thought I took care of you. Come on. Can we at least get 5 Avalok berries and make this exchange even? Where's the rest of the spiels? Oh well. I'm only doing this for the berries anyways. Let's go for the real prize of the night. At least if countless checks for Hisuian shinies is to no avail, then perhaps I can at least get a shiny alpha Chatot, because that would be wonderful. So ironic that Chatos make themselves easier to catch by basically giving you a freebie at their back while trying to call for their friends. Or just running away in general. Oh, great. You. Don't fly towards their Chatot. There's bad people there that I don't want to interact with because I'm too busy trying to catch you all. Oh, come on. Well. New horde. Well, there they are. Now, if I can get them without confrontation, that would actually be fantastic because I do not feel like I've had good luck with fighting Pokemon tonight. I was going to say with fighting alphas, but no. Quillfish and Overqwil kind of lured to me that that's just an issue in general. Well, surely I can fight one Chatot. Yeah, I mean, I know we just got the prompt saying that it was about to clear up, but maybe if I'm fast, diligent, and lucky, I can get to one more outbreak before the rain ends. I haven't given up hope quite yet. That's fine. I've got like 4 other alphas. Alright, do I want to try to go for the Chatot? What should be faster? This Chatot or this way? If I go here, I can at least fly over the Primblups on my way over to Chatot. I just don't know how much of a mess it would be to go for that mountainside. Well, it wouldn't help if I was flying the right direction. Did I really just fly over? Well, I didn't hear a sparkle, so I think we're fine. Gee. Here goes something. Run and panic. You're only gonna make yourselves easier. Where's the rest of you? Don't go all the way over there. Stop making this harder on us all. Well, we tried. A valiant effort was made, but it does not seem like the Sparkle Shines gods want the Sparkle Shine in us today. That's just part of the beats. That's why I try not to reset too much, because on days like today's where no shinies will shine, I can at least look back at this overly extraneously long Pokedex and say that I've at least at least a couple steps closer to having this done today than I was the day before. Look at that adorable Floatzel just snoozing in the distance. That's for being such a prick with you and your pre-evolution line. So, thank you all for tuning in for this special Legends Arceus stream. I would say stream again Friday evening around the 7:30 time, but I have been taking it a bit easy with the streams as I finish up the unofficial game and dedicate this month in particular more towards my old season. And that, so can't really say. But I'm sure this won't be the last stream. And for anyone watching the VODs as well, I will see you all later! It's fine, I deserved it for sneaking up on your friend while he was sleeping. It was worth it for the ending joke. Take care. And now we wait. We wait and make sure that I don't cut the stream off short. With the lack of delay, that's probably not a thing anymore, but doesn't hurt to be safe. Surely, if I go over to YouTube and yeah, I think we're good.